Let's get started. So thanks everyone for joining. So welcome to another episode of the C-Suite Reflection Room from Eubrics AI. So for people who are joining us this time for the first time, we pick up a topic in AI and digital transformation, and we invite a guest to talk to us and share their expertise. So today our guest is Chenthil Eswaran. Thank you for joining us, Chenthil. Chenthil is a VP Enterprise Solutions leader from Aspire Systems. He's an author. He's a thought leader. He has been an innovation award winner from Oracle. He has extensive experience in this area, and we are very honored to have Chenthil on the show today. And we would love to hear his experience in the evolving AI landscape. The topic that we're going to cover today is how AI is impacting different industries and how that is evolving as time goes by. So, Chenthil, welcome to the show and thank you for joining.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me, Maxim.
Yeah. So Chenthil, before we begin and get more into the topic, so we would love to hear your perspective first on your thoughts. How is AI evolving today? Like since it has started a long time back, and in the recent years it has picked up and is moving very fast. So what are your thoughts on how AI is evolving and the impact that it's creating across industries?
It's a very good question. Initially, we started with traditional AI, right? It was a bit siloed. The adoption was a bit siloed, and use cases were chatbots in retail, fraud detection, and banking. It was all siloed, and we heard a lot of pilots going on during that phase, and many pilots didn't even go for any major projects, etc. Right? With having Gen AI start coming up in a big way, right? The last 2 years plus, we saw the adoption growing exponentially, right? So we have, I mean, like it ChatGPT Copilot or like Outlook in enterprises now. It has become a day-to-day one in this, right? Going beyond that, right? So we are just scratching the surface. We are using Copilot on ChatGPT now. It's going beyond that, right? It has started more evolving more, right? A few months back or 6 8 months back, kind of people were asking. I mean, I have a budget, right? But I don't know what I have to do. What are the use case I should be doing? I mean, this is on enterprises across, right? The it is slightly changed. I have a use case, but I mean, I don't know whether it is AI or automation. So there is some amount of ambiguity there. I mean, with reference to how I mean, whether it is a AI use case or there is a RPA use case or it's an automation use case, etc. So that is actually slowly maturing, right? And still we are scratching the surface with those use cases again, right? We are still like but there are decent progress happened, right? For example, and it has moved across industries as well. A logistics firm, uses AI to optimize delivery routes, reducing fuel forecast, right, and improving customer satisfaction. These are something which has started being implemented aggressively across, right? So it has moved to the stage. So the importance of the learning, actually, the more importance of learning what we had with traditional and Gen AI is choosing of the right use cases, right? And choosing what is applicable for you. There are umpteen number of products in the market. The ability to pick up the use case, the right use case will make the pilot move to project state and implementation and start using, right? If you're going to choose a wrong one, I mean, it is, I mean, I hear from some enterprises, business has told this AI use case, right? Yeah, business is business, right? They know how to run their business in their area, right? But when it comes to AI, it is more of IT to validate whether it is an AI use case and then start leveraging whether it is traditional AI or Gen AI. They should you leverage the respective one and also evaluate what is the ROI or this one. What we did in Aspire is we understood this specific pain point very clearly, and we have come up with an framework called or accelerator called xvalue.ai. It is like a chat GPT, right? It runs into your enterprise and comes back with you with a recommendation on what are the different use cases you should be trying on each area. So, for example, in P2P, procure to pay cycle, if you run the accelerator, it will come and tell you that there are so many purchase order duplicates, there are so many revenue leak due to approval processes or approval delays. It comes and throws a list of anomalies and also gives a recommendation. When it gives recommendation, if it is an ERP or custom application, if it is an ERP, it goes and tells what exactly is the ERP feature you should enable to overcome that obstacle. That is one. Second, or it tells do you have to use RPA to do the automation to overcome that anomaly, or you have to use agentic AI or whatever is the AI which are applicable for that to overcome that. And it gives you also the ROI and benefits. So this is a prescriptive approach on what you have to do, which technology you have to use, etc. This product has been adopted in multiple places, and we actually did doing it for ERP specifically. We focus on Oracle, so the traditional when we move from legacy ERP to new ERP, we actually run the tool on the legacy and then take those reports and then go for it, so that we are very sure on what we are doing. We pick up the right use cases, and transformation, it accelerates transformation by around 60 to 80%. The decision cycles is 90%. So, and moreover, it delivers easily double or triple times the ROI in the first year. So why and how I am saying is, when you go for an ERP implementation, is we go and ask the business users with a set of questions on how they do their current business, right? If you're going to by interview, we will have it interview, or we have the product walkthrough. We have multiple ways. Here, when we run the tool, we will get full information on what is the process they are using today, what are the anomalies they are having today in the system, and what is that solution or the future state with ROI. So when you are going to talk to the user, you are fully armed with all these information, and we go there and talk to the user. You clearly say that this is the process they should be using, and this is where this is where you should be fine tuning your process. You take other inputs from them as well.
Okay, perfect. So Chenthil, that is great. It is good to know that y'all are already implementing that. So that use case is very accurate in terms of today's market and how the landscape is changing. So there are a lot of companies who are trying to implement AI without having a clear use case and without knowing the ROI. So even in the market, there are other tools that are coming up, startups that are coming up who are able to mention what are the use cases that organization should implement and whether it would give the ROI, right? So that is becoming an important segment, and it is great to see that you all are already doing it. So because today, even we face this. There are clients, prospective people that we speak to who have a rough idea of what they want to do, but they are not very clear. They want to implement AI in learning, AI in sales enablement without having a full end-to-end solution on what it should do, what should the outcome be like, right? And then it becomes a discussion to figure out how and when the implementation should be and what it should entail and what is the outcome it should drive. So great to know that you all are already picking this up and
Right.
able
The
to
momentum,
share the idea.
the moment,
Yeah.
the momentum drops, right? Traditionally, right, there was a lot of hype when it started around 5 6 years back. A lot of art all went into the pilot, and then it dropped. Right, the Gen A, we should not do the same mistake. I think the realization is already there, but it should be more. The whole idea is spend time on identifying the use cases. Don't rush, right? There is another way approaches. You are now trying to augment what we do with the AI, right? You're not still doing a AI transformation yet. I think we still have time. We still have time, I believe, or the maturity has to come where we evolve so that the entire stuff is being done via AI with human intervention, obviously.
Right, right. So, Chenthil, when how the based on how this is going, right? So this journey of AI usage in enterprises has evolved a lot over the last few years, but rather the last three to 4 years, right? After the advent of Gen AI, it has drastically changed. So, from your perspective, how have you seen enterprises and industries evolve in the way they approach and implement AI? Like, how has it changed? Not just from your organization, from a market standpoint, do you feel like there is a significant change in the way people are implementing AI instead of just trying to get some AI on board, or is the industry still picking up and trying to figure out how this should be done?
Yeah, so thanks to the OEMs like Oracle, Salesforce, Microsoft, etc., they have started embedding AI into their products, right? That actually now I mean the enterprises are seriously looking at those features and trying to find out whether it is applicable for them, whether they can leverage those features, right? So there are very interesting features in Oracle Fusion which actually gives you predictive insights like cash flow forecasting, supplier risk scoring. I mean, these were happening earlier as well, but it was on a rule based. Now it is more via LLM based models, right? I mean, like for example, a CFO getting alerted for a potential liquidity issue even before it occurs. It really helps them to take a decision on those, right? Enterprises are now seriously like I said earlier, right? I mean, Copilot has become an outlook for in any enterprise, right? Most of the enterprises are having Copilot on their day-to-day operation. They are using it, but still, as I said, it is just scratching the surface. Now, the next step is obviously the OEMs building the AI features is pushing further to them so that they can leverage those AI features on their day-to-day operations, right? Like quite as what I said, the ability to identify the ones which is relevant for you is important, and using it then it becomes easier. Otherwise you might be using a feature which you may not be and feel that this is not for me yet.
Correct. Yeah. So I think there are two categories of products which are being rolled out. One is these big ERP players, or a big enterprise solution, like whether it is Microsoft, whether it is Teams or Copilot or Google Workspaces, which people use on a day-to-day basis, right? That software with or without AI is in some fashion required in the organization. So that's one, correct? And the second set of solutions that enterprises are trying to implement are smaller solutions, right? They are not like an enterprise-wide ecosystem products. They are siloed small products which solve for one use case. Maybe it automates some part of your CRM, it automates some parts of your sales process or training process, right? So for these tools, people are experimenting a lot with AI, right? They are trying different vendors, they are trying different solutions, they are trying to build something internally. So, because of this, now it becomes a factor of making a decision that whatever I'm experimenting with, is it working or not working? And should I expand it to my org-wide scope, right? Or a larger scope where a big chunk of my employees or a big part of my organization is using it, right? So, which means that AI adoption is very important, right? So, in today's world, how is the AI adoption, and how can companies tell that they are actually progressing and implementing AI and not just experimenting with different tools? So, what are your thoughts on that? What is the difference between just trying something out and being able to have true AI adoption where you feel like AI is used significantly in an enterprise?
So Maxim, it is not about having AI, it is about using it to drive outcomes, right?
Right.
If you see from my perspective, there are few signs of maturity, AI maturity, right? So AI being embedded in the workflows, and then data driven decision making, and teams trust AI insights. Right, that is very important. Team trust AI. I mean, for example, a sales team member prioritizes his leads using AI, right, and improving win rates. So that means he has to trust the data and trust what are decisions given, right? That is actually It is that shows the sign of maturity. It not and not just data alone, right? You may use the Salesforce or Oracle can give you all the recommendation, but you have to really leverage those and try it out all those. Then it becomes so the sign of maturity is on these angles, right? Whether you're able to take decisions based on the AI insights which you get, right. We tried the X value data which we have, right. I mean, well, what we do is during Oracle Fusion gives upgrades every quarter. That means every 4 months you get an upgrade. A bunch of features comes and bunch of changes also comes in the system, right. So that is where you have a 2 week window in which you have to check the impact and do whatever is the changes needed so that your integrations or reports doesn't break. The second one, you also identify the new features which has come and the new features which are applicable for you. You pick those new features and actually implement those. The AI is going to give you those recommendations with our tool X Validator. It is for the organization or the enterprise to trust that and start working on it and scale it.
Got it. Got it. Yeah. So when organizations are trying to experiment and check if they are truly implementing AI. So there are going to be implementational challenges for the organizations as well, right? So if you look at ERP has been primarily used as a back office function, correct? And people use it to manage their stuff. How can leaders today use ERPs as a strategic enabler, because there are going to be technical challenges for it. There are going to be cultural challenges for it, especially when ERP as a system takes a lot of effort for implementation on the ground, right? So when it is rolled out the first time, and now with integration of AI, it adds more complexity. So since y'all are doing this regularly with, for example, Oracle Fusion or any other products that y'all are doing in the ERP space, what best practices have you seen helps enterprises make this transition very smooth?
ERP should be seen as a business enabler, not just as a back office. So when we started right way back in 90s, when we started into the ERP implementation world, when we were learners and learning the product, implementing those, right. ERP expansion is enterprise resource planning, right. So we were implementing, but to our surprise, in the initial 90s 2000 period, it was kind of uh, people were using like integrated application, right? Integrating multiple departments. They were not really using the resource planning which ERP was saying, right? So that actually evolved over period, and there are organizations who started using those requirement planning like MRP1, MRP2. Those they started leveraging it over a period. And with this is our all on-prem era. Then we moved to the cloud era where all these on-prem started moving to cloud, and we started getting those regular features. And now AI adoption becomes easier if cloud is already there, because if you are in on-prem, then you have to put a layer on top of it, and then you have to start building those AI components over there. Now with the cloud application, these features come as a native features. So with all this, right, we it is yeah, going beyond resource planning, right. It is started becoming a decision making tool. Suppose I'm a retailer, right, and I want to adjust my pricing based on the ERP demand forecast, right. So that is possible now with AI. It is not rule based, it will be based on patterns, and it will be based on LLMs and traditional AI can be also leveraged there. So he will be able to make decisions based on it, because yeah, for ERP it holds all the transaction in any organization. So your procure to pay, order to cash cycle will typically cover most of the transaction any um, wholesale firm. All right, in foreign manufacturing you add couple of more modules with reference to manufacturing, inventory procurement, or whatever modules apart from this, right? Then you have the HR model. So it gives you power decision making intelligence on what recommendation. I would better say term it as recommendation. It gives recommendation and insights where an employee can pick up those recommendations and take decisions on the fly.
Right,
Right.
exactly.
We even did one POC internally on
Mhm.
having um, right. We have a mobile app on top of our Oracle Fusion ERP called Equipme. Right. We integrated that with Meta AI Glass. Right.
Okay.
So what happens is you start getting decisions on the move. You don't have to open your mobile. And if you are
Mhm.
in a board meeting or somewhere, and there was a question asked, right, for that specific product line, uh, what is your last forecast, or what is the last forecast, and what is the revenue you received last quarter? You ask Meta AI Smart Glass, and it gives you those information. You don't have to open your laptop, you don't have to open your mobile. It just gives you those information. And you can also ask what recommendation you can have that can be brainstorming. So those kind of inputs, right? I mean, it is more augmenting the decision making, and that depends on the data quality, that depends on the use cases you picked up, that depends on various factors.
Perfect. Yeah. So that's very true, Chenthil. And now I think, and you have been in digital transformation as a space, and you have like a deep expertise on it, right? So what I would also like to understand is how has digital transformation as a approach changed over the last few years, and what are leaders doing differently? So let me explain that a little more in detail. So, if you consider 5 years ago, digital transformation was looked at very differently, right? Digital transformation was more about implementing some new technologies in your system, changing the way you approach stuff, and um, the because of how technology moved versus how it is moving today at a very fast pace and changing every few months. So today, digital transformation is about introducing AI in your organization in different ways. And some organizations already have a use case, some organizations don't. And today, if you're looking at digital transformation, it is more of a decision than just an initiative. And it has like a lot of consequences and change that happens on the ground. So today, if you have to look at leaders and their roles, if they are implementing a AI solution or a AI system or bringing a widespread change of being AI first in the company, how does the role of a leader change here? Right? It is not just the people. Like, how should a leader approach this very differently compared to how digital transformation was looked at maybe 5 years ago or a decade ago?
Right. A valid question. So, with the on-prem era, cloud era, it was all about tech adoption, right? Now with AI, it is more of driving mindsets. You have to drive the mindset and move towards it. Because why? Because the hype created, the noise created on the cuts, which may happen on AI adoption, has also resulted in a lot of resistance in some segments. Right, the users being kind of skeptical whether and they resist. Right, so it is, and moreover, the adoption also it requires I mean, for a programmer, a senior programmer, I mean, using code optimization tools like Cursor or Copilot, GitHub, right? So he will feel it kind of, what is this? I will write better, because instead of it writing something and I'm reviewing and correcting it, I'll write better. Why? So but it actually helps reduce his product, reduces time and product, improves productivity, right? So it is a mindset shift overall, right? So the leader, when actually if he's in a leadership position, you should actually foster experimentation, right? You should ensure that employees experiment. There should be a space given for them where they will be able to experiment with multiple products and then try it out, right? Then make them understand data, about data, how it is structured, how it is there, so that they can ask the right prompts, have the right prompts to take the uh, outputs. Then you have to align your business strategy with AI. This is no more a kind of tech budget or tech initiative, right? This is going to be a business, right? So, I mean, example is, I mean, a CHRO, right, identifies attrition risk and proactively engages with the employees, right? So it becomes it should be part of your routine, right? I was even thinking an use case, right? You wear a Meta AI glass and you walk in your bay and find out, okay, this is Ramesh who has completed 20 years ago, 20 years in Aspire. So congratulate him and also tell him good things what he has done, etc. So it should be embedded on your day to day. Beyond your decision making, right? Yeah, obviously the creativity, empathy, sympathy, all those things. Obviously, it is human who has to take care of those. But rest of things, these things can be embedded, and in leadership has a lot of role. They have to do organization change management if they feel there is a resistance on identifying. Uh, there are different methods on which you can implement organization management, and one of the thing is ProSci, which gives you a prescriptive approach on how they can do a transformation, overall transformation, right? And I think the people should go all out on enterprises. Typically, should go all out on implementing AI and not go on piecemeal or siloed approach. That's my recommendation. And we can see, yeah, we can see the biggies like Microsoft and other organizations investing very heavily on having, the operating system with the native AI features, right? So that those things are going to come, but the adoption from now on should be aggressive so that you just start moving more faster than to beat your competition.
Absolutely. So Chenthil, that is spot on. So now it is no longer about just a technology initiative, right? It requires change implementation. It requires driving the mindset of people. It requires business aligning as a goal in itself, and not just a check in the box which they need to complete. So thanks for sharing your thoughts on this, Chenthil. So Chenthil, while we pick up one more question, I'm going to open the floor to the audience to ask any questions, because the questions take a few seconds to show up. So audience, please let us know what questions you have for Chenthil, and we'll be happy to pick some of them up. Chenthil, what I would like to know as a final question is, as enterprise systems are becoming more connected, they are becoming more evolved in terms of what they can achieve, and also their intelligence. What technologies do you think will have the highest multiplier effect when paired with AI? Whether it is another AI technology in itself, or not really a AI technology, but something which is already in use or what is coming up, which would make the outcome far more valuable for an enterprise.
Yeah, if you're talking about across industry, it is multiple, right? One is IoT, digital twins, edge computing, blockchain. I would say that blockchain is on top of it, because data quality is very important for AI. And if you are going to allow AI to do some autonomous task, your data quality should be 100% correct, and that blockchain can give. Right, blockchain is still in infancy because of multiple reasons, including regulatory. Right, but it has started gathering pace in last 1 or 2 years. Blockchain will be a major companion or a multiplier, right, where you will be able to confidently give decisions to AI to execute.
Perfect. Okay. So thanks a lot, Chenthil. So it was really nice to hear your thoughts on all the topics that we discussed so far. So we appreciate your perspective on how this change should be looked at from enterprise leaders. What are some of the steps that they should take, and how they should use AI and implement AI in their organization in the right fashion. So I'm going to pick up some questions. So the first question that we have is, Um, with AI transforming a lot of systems in enterprises right now, what skills should professionals focus on to stay relevant in the ERP and this whole evolution that is happening, right? What should employees focus on as their skill set?
One, if you're talking about a person in the software or IT industry, then there is a specific skills which we can recommend. Obviously, learning Python if you're a technical person, and learning how to leverage a RAG, how to have Mac, etc., and leveraging the LLMs will be a very good skill set to have. It. If you are a kind of a functional person or a person who's in the management level, you should be knowing how to use these tools effectively. There are umpteen number of tools. For sure, there will be a point where it will all saturate, and there will be a couple of leaders which will be staying on the top, right? You should be knowing. You should be knowing how to choose those and be learn those tools and use it on day to day.
Got it. Okay. All right. So another question that we have is with so much of AI being implemented at the workplace, how should companies balance between automation and upskilling their people so that people don't fear that they are getting replaced and they feel empowered instead?
So it is actually it really augments, right? Well, I mean, it is like we say, right? I mean, you if you don't know AI, you are being left out, right? That is something which will happen soon, right? It is not yet happened. It will happen soon because enterprises are not yet aggressively started implementing AI in all their areas, right? So I mean, having those fear factors, that's what I was saying, right? It stalls the implementation of the AI into the workplace, right? This fear factor should move away, and people should start augmenting. The same thing happened when the IT industry was brought in, right? The robots are coming and we will all lose jobs, right? And that is what happened when initial periods when computerization started, right? So this, yeah, new roles will evolve, right? I mean, new roles will obviously evolve. And we have to adapt to those new roles instead of resisting this, because if you resist, we will be kind of crowd which will be left out. So there is no rhyme reason for someone to say that I don't want to do AA because it might replace you will get replaced. That's the only thing which might happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So people have to understand that how technology has evolved over the years, whether it was internet or whether it was computers, phones, right? The e-commerce side or several changes that have happened always are about being able to ride the wave and being a part of it, right? And resisting it. And usually the people who get replaced are the people who resist the change very ruthlessly, right? So considering it, being open to change is what would make a difference even for people who are trying to um, have that implementation done around them. So we would always recommend everyone to keep an open mind and see how it can augment their own skills. So I'm just thanks for that, Chenthil. So I'm going to just take one or two more questions. So there is a lot of hype around AI right now. So you would see different tools coming up, different softwares coming up, different vendors coming up with new solutions. Even large enterprises, ERPs or different systems are adding a lot of features, correct? And sometimes it's difficult to differentiate between what is genuinely useful versus what is noise. So, how should enterprises make this differentiation between what is truly useful for them and will give them some business results versus something which is just noise and somebody has implemented it without enough thought?
So it is happening. I know few of them who actually bought products which may not be really useful for them, right? Like I said in the initial discussion, right? So we have this platform xvalue.ai, which has a value GPT, right, where we run on the enterprise applications and then come back with clear recommendation on what use case they should, which use case they should be doing and why they should be doing and why it will give you more value. It also gives you justification on why it will give more value, right? So that you can make an informed decision. You don't have to rush to buy products, but you have to really do this research before you start jumping in and getting those products.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, so that makes sense. So Chenthil, we have come towards the end of the session. So thank you for joining in. So though there are a few more questions, in the interest of time, I'm just going to take this to some closing remarks. So Chenthil, do you have any short final thoughts on the whole area and what you would recommend to any business leader who is watching this, trying to bring in a ERP system or any large scale digital transformation today in their organization, what would be your suggestions or recommendations?
Yeah, my recommendation is make uh, data-driven decisions. Don't rush for adoption. Do your research, proper research before you getting into any such initiatives, because it has definite ROI, it has definite value. Where you put your energy matters, right? And leveraging tools like xvalue.ai to do research. I mean, I'm not saying I'm not pushing or selling xvalue.ai, but similar platforms even to identify what exactly is the use case. Use AI to find out which AI feature or AI product to do that. That will be useful.
Oh, perfect. All right. Thank you, Chenthil. Thank you for joining us. It was really nice having you on the show, and thanks for sharing your thoughts. So thanks to everyone who has joined the session. So we are Eubrics AI. We provide sales role plays for improving the effectiveness of sales teams, and we also provide workforce productivity improvement for enterprises. Thank you for joining us. Hope you had a good time.